Ciaran, it's lovely to actually see you all the way over there in Cambodia. How are you?
Kelly, great to see you too. I'm very well, thanks, despite everything. I mean, it's tough times here in Cambodia for most people because tourism is completely zero, and we have got a lot of tourists from Australia. But I'm okay. You know, doing a lot of online work and trying to muddle our way through it as best we can. How about you?
Yeah, pretty much the same. So we are, as Australia was now in recession officially as of last week, I think they stated. So it's going to be quite interesting to see how the country copes as we're moving forward. At this stage, we're coming out of COVID with our statistics, but like Cambodia, country's still pretty much closed. So
Yeah,
interesting. Yeah, but we're not here to speak about COVID.
no, we're here to talk about the leadership challenge. Good old leadership challenge.
Yeah, we are. So for everybody who's watching and listening, I met you when I came over to work in Cambodia on a project, and we got hooked up through our network, through our Leadership Challenge network, which is one of the benefits about Leadership Challenge. We got linked up by LJ Rose.
Yes. The wonderful LJ. So just for the people listening, LJ, I actually went, like you, to California. Was it California? You went to Sonoma?
Yeah, Sonoma.
Yeah, to do the Leadership Challenge program. It was actually 7 years ago. And I was previously in HR. I was in HR for over 25 years and in business for more than 30 years. And I just really, I really felt that I needed to get a really great leadership framework. And I went to, same as you, to Sonoma to do the program, and LJ was my tutor, and then as it turned out 6 years later she's your tutor as well.
She was fabulous. She was absolutely fabulous. Yeah, we've got very similar stories in that way. When I finished working overseas in the Pacific Islands and I came back, I knew I wanted to launch a development company, and I wanted a really robust leadership framework, and that's how I happened upon the Leadership Challenge as well. And I wanted to go to the heart of it to learn from the experts like LJ. So,
It's a very similar story because it's remarkable really, but I had worked in businesses, various different kind of business, financial, pharma, internet, telecoms. I worked in different businesses over the years. And we always used to talk about management development programs, you know, developing our managers, giving them skills. But there were actually very little talked about leadership programs.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of when I got to the point of realizing, first of all, I want to do coaching. I want to do executive coaching. And when I got to that point, I suddenly realized, but hold on a minute, what is great leadership? I mean, I know the people I've worked for. Yeah. Some of them were wonderful and some of them were just awful. So what was it about those people that I liked or didn't like, or the way they behaved with me? Because at the end of the day, it's all about how they behave. You don't necessarily have to like them. And so it kind of made me think a lot. And then I did a lot of research and I found out about the Leadership Challenge and went, wow, I wish I'd found this 20 years ago, you know?
I think that's a common theme with everybody who sort of goes along that leadership journey with the Leadership Challenges is like, where have you been all my life?
Yeah, exactly. Really, it's really true. And suddenly it all started to make sense. And suddenly the experiences I had started to make sense in kind of, when you compare it to this wonderful template of the Leadership Challenge, you start to realize, oh yeah, this is why, you know, this person was a great person to work with, and why the other person was awful to work with.
Yeah, no, it is quite interesting. So we were sort of talking earlier before this. How is this applicable today? Like, we know that the Leadership Challenge has been around for around 30 years, or just over, I think it is. I guess before we get on to the applicability of today, you have had quite a bit of interaction with the authors of Jim Kouzes.
Yes,
do you want to tell us a little bit about what they're like?
Absolutely. And I think, you know, it's useful to talk about the pathway, because when I started, I really just wanted a coaching framework, you know, a leadership framework. And that's why I went to do it. And then I thought, actually, this is really great stuff. So I think, you know, maybe I'd like to do more with the Leadership Challenge in terms of teaching and facilitating programs like the Leadership Challenge. So that started me on the pathway of wanting to go through the development stages to become a Leadership Challenge master facilitator. And that process can take between 3 to 5 years. You know, you have to meet the authors. They have annual forums or meetings in the US. They're two amazing academics who work in Santa Clara University, you know, in California. And they really just came along one day, 30 years ago, and asked each other, well, what are people doing when they're being really successful as leaders? It started with that really simple question about what people are really doing. And so out of that discussion that they had, they decided to create an actual, some research. And they started to go out and speak to really successful leaders across the US and across the world, ask them, what are you doing when you're being successful? What is it that you're doing that really delivers success, performance, engagement for your employees, etc. So they started asking those questions. They then sort of did, I think, 5,000 individual interviews. Then that turned into a list in the end, when they filtered it all down to 30 key behaviors. 30 key behaviors and 5 practices. So that's how we end up with these 5 practices, each with 6 behaviors in each one, that form the basis of the leadership challenge.
Yeah. So, and they really do. I've just happened to have it with me. Where we look at the five practices of exemplary leadership, and if we have a look at them: model the way, inspire a shared vision, challenge the process, enable others to act, and encourage the heart. At the basic sense, they really are simple. And it's things that, when I know from my experience of going through the program and then applying it in the real world, and not just in the workplace, but also in my everyday life, and then seeing others and coaching others through this, they really are simple processes at the base of it, I guess, you know.
They are. I mean, the thing is that they are. What's interesting for me, and the research has borne this out, that Kouzes and Posner have done over the years, is that no matter what country you're in, whether you're male, female, no matter what race you are, it makes absolutely no difference. When you talk to people about these 30 behaviors, they all go, I get that. I understand what this is. And whereas it is true to say, I've delivered the program in Asia, I've delivered the program in North America and Europe, and everyone says to me, oh, but you know, here maybe it's a bit difficult, you know, to, for instance, give feedback. I mean, we know
cultural challenges. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. Asking for feedback of your manager is not people say that to me all the time in Asia, but you know, we don't really ask our manager for feedback, or certainly don't give them feedback, right? But actually, you know, it's actually quite the case in Europe as well, that people tend not to give feedback to their managers. So there definitely are cultural considerations, but fundamentally the 30 behaviors are applicable and will work everywhere, but you have to practice. It's like meditation. If you want to meditate, you have to practice. So you have to practice these things. But the good thing is that all the work of Kouzes and Posner, the authors, is saying that if you practice, then you will be able to do it. It's not like it's impossible. It's not like rocket science. So you have to be, you know, certain qualification in leadership. You don't. You just have to practice these things.